Hello everyone, welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 1448 named Count Good Nodes in a Binary Tree. In this problem, we are given a binary tree and our node X in the tree is named good if in the path from root to X there are no node with a value greater than X. Suppose let's consider the first example. Here the root is 3 which has two children 1 and 4. 1 has 1 children 3, 4 has 2 children 1 and 5. So here for this node 3, the path from root to 3, there are no nodes which has value greater than 3. So it is a good node. Similarly, for this node 5, in the path from root 3, 4, 5, there is no node which has greater value than 5. But this node 1, in the path 3, 4, 1, it has greater value than 1. So it is not the good node. So here we have to return the number of good nodes in a tree. I hope you understood the problem statement. Now let's move on to the algorithm. Now here, to understand the algorithm, we have taken the similar example. Now basically, we have to find the number of good nodes. So here, these 3 is a good node because it is a root and the path from root to root has only value 3. So there are no other value greater than 3. So it is a root or it is a good node. But this value 1 is not good node because this path 1 and 3 has the value greater than 1, which is 3, right? So this 1 is not good node. But this 3 is a good node because it has no value with greater than 3 in the path from 3 to 3. Now, for this node 4, it is a good node because in this path 3 to 4, none of the value has greater than 4. Similarly, this node 5 is a good node because in the path from 3 to 5, none of the path or none of the value has greater than value 5. But this 1 is not good node because in the path from 3 to 1, it has two value 4 and 3 which is greater than 1. So this 1 cannot be a good node. So here, this is the basics of problem statement. Now, how can we solve this problem? Basically, we're going to solve this problem by using the DFS algorithm. Now, in the DFS, for each of the node, we have to get the maximum value so far from root to this node. And suppose for this node 1, the maximum value so far from root to this node will be 3, which is this path. Now, if the root value is greater than or equal to the maximum value, we will simply consider this node as the good node. Otherwise, if the root value is less than the maximum value, we can consider this node will be a non-good node. So this is how basically the logic works. Let's understand the logic for this node 3. So here from root to 3, the maximum value is 3, which is this node. And for this node 3, this 3 is greater than or equal to the maximum value. So we can consider this as one of the good node. Now let's run the DFS algorithm. Initially, we are at this root 3 It is a good node by default. So let's increase the counter 1. Now, what is the max value so far? The max value will be 3. Now we have to check whether this left subtree node value 1 is greater than or equal to 3 or not. No, it is not. So this is not the good node. Now, again, we have to move to its left children. So the maximum value will be again 3. So here, we have to check whether the root value or the node value is greater than or equal to the 3 or not. Yes, 3 is equal to 3. So we have found another good node here, which is this. Now we have completed iteration in the left subtree. Now let's move on to the right subtree. The maximum value is 3, which is this. Now, does our node value 4 is greater than or equal to the maximum value? Yes, it is. So we have to increase the counter. Now the counter will be 3. That means this 4 is a good node. Now from this 4, we will get back to its left children. And the maximum value here will be 4. Now, does this value 1 is greater than or equal to the maximum value 4? No, it is not. So it is not the good node. Now let's move on to the right subtree. Again, the maximum value so far is 4. Does this node 5 is greater than or equal to the 4? Yes, it is. So we have to increase the counter 4. So far, we have found the counter is 4. That means there are 4 nodes, which is good, which is these 4 nodes. And the overall time complexity of this algorithm will be big O of n. And overall space complexity of this algorithm will be big O of n. And this is how basically we're going to solve this problem. I hope you understood the algorithm. Now let's move on to the code. In this problem, the code is pretty simple. At first, we are given a function named goodNodes, which is a tree as a parameter. Now we are taking a DFS function with the root and integer minimum, and we are taking a global variable to store the answer. Now in the DFS function, if the root is null, we have to simply return. Otherwise, if the root value is greater than or equal to the maximum value so far, that means we have found a good node. We have to increment the answer and upgrade the maximum to root value. After that, we have to recursively call the DFS function into the left subtree and into the right subtree with the maximum value so far. Finally, we have to return the answer. I hope you understood the code. Thank you everyone for watching the video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.